It's finally time to paint the camper. I've been meaning to do this for a long time and just keep putting it off. I'm gonna leave the roof as is. You can see if you watch any of my other videos, this is the roof repair I did. I did it 4 years ago and it's still holding up really well. You can see I probably need to just give it a good cleaning so it looks white again. But I'm only gonna paint the bottom. So in the video, I'll show you how to remove decals. I'll also show you a workaround where if you don't wanna remove the decals, and I'll clean it and paint it. Just a quick note, I've already gone around and sealed all the seams with lap sealant. So I used the same stuff on the roof. If you watched any of my other videos, it's held up really well. So basically I just removed any of the old, I think you say it butyl tape. I might be saying that wrong, but it's that stuff that will be black and be kind of like sticky. I removed all of that with a razor blade, cleaned it with mineral spirits, and then put the lap sealant around all of those seams. That can be painted as long as it's skinned over. So mine is good and ready to be painted. So I'm gonna show you all the steps to be able to paint it. Removing decals. You'll need a heat gun. This is just a craft heat gun and it's been working fine. And a metal scraper. Now my decals, this is a 1993 camper, so they've been on here a while. And they're really gummy when they come off. I've seen a lot come off a lot better with the heat gun. Mine does not come off great, but hopefully if you have decals, yours glide off a lot easier than mine. After removing everything I can with the heat gun, I use mineral spirits and fine steel wool to take off any extra residue. All right, you can see I've removed the decals from the front of the camper. It's tedious and it's kind of time consuming, which are two words that I don't like when I'm doing projects. I'm not a very patient person, which is why I decided not to remove the decals from the entire camper. So I'm going to show you the other way that I found that works well to kind of get rid of any flaking decals, but still seal them in so it's not an issue when I paint the camper. I used 80 grit sandpaper on my orbital sander to run over all the edges and take off any loose decals. All right, so I've sanded it all down. You can see that in the places where there are decals, like the sanding definitely takes off the parts that want to come off, and the parts that are staying on are definitely stuck on there. Like as I run my hand across, I don't feel any loose edges or anything kind of peeling, which means it's going to stay intact when I put the primer on top. The primer that I found works really well for this is this Peel Stop primer. I've used it on window frames too, and it really does work. So I'm going to put it just on the parts where there were decals, and then we will paint right over that. I'm a huge advocate for primer. Some people say you might not need it, but I think it adds to the durability of a paint job. So I primed my piece with a primer that will allow me to put oil-based paint over it. I'm using Rust-Oleum oil-based paint, and I'm doing a two-tone finish. So I just painted the white on the top around the whole camper, and then I'm going to show you how I get clean lines even on a surface that's super bumpy like my pop-up camper. After I put the frog tape down, and frog tape is important, it's definitely the best type of painter's tape out there for clean lines, I put a coat of white paint underneath the tape, which is where that other color will actually go. What that white paint does is it seeps under the tape in all the grooves, but you can't see it because the top is white. Then I paint the green on the bottom layer, and when I remove the tape, there is almost no bleed through because that white is the paint that bled through, and the green then was able to just stay under the tape line. It works really well. I do it for stenciling and lots of other projects, and it worked really well on my camper too, along with on the stencil I put on the back of the pop-up. I use the same process for the stencils. These stencils I made on my Silhouette, but you can buy stencils everywhere now. Lots are on Amazon for sure. White paint to do the bleed through, and then green paint on top. And once the stencils are removed, they come out pretty clean. So here's how the camper ended up turning out. Although I waited way too long to work on it, I'm glad I finally did because I feel like it gives it a new look and now can be used for years to come. For lots of other DIY pop-up camper projects and also a new travel trailer we got. Well, not new, used travel trailer we got. There'll be more coming to my channel along with tons of DIY and home improvement projects for around the home. Thanks for watching.